bread. So he said to him, I don't understand this. You want butter? Eat butter. You want a piece of bread? Eat a piece of bread. But why do you have to take dafka the butter and smear it on the bread and then eat it like that? No problem. You want butter? Eat butter. You want bread? Eat bread. But dafka schmieren the putter have the bread. So the idea is it was people once upon a time were true chassidim and they ate what they needed to eat and they davened the way they needed to daven. So we have to try the best we can.
Is there a difference between the Zionists and Kaveh Suda?
Well, there is, from that perspective, there is a difference. And that's why the Rebbe writes in a letter, as I mentioned earlier, that if the doctor says you have to wash, do that also. But his perspective was from a different, yeah. But there is a difference. Yeah, but again, Al Pidin, if you take a look at Shulchan Aruch, it says not to eat before davening, period. If a person is up during the night, he's up a whole night for whatever reason. It's a good idea to go to sleep before davening. To be able to have a better opportunity to keep his mind on davening. If you're asleep, you can't daven properly. So, it's really the perspective of, we have sometimes shvuas, people, we're coming to shvuas and we're up a whole night, taking shvuas, learning, whatever. And there are those that after taking shvuas, let's make an early minyan. Why? So that we can go to sleep. As opposed to go to sleep so that you can daven like a mensch. So it's a question, the same question. Are we going to sleep? Are we davening so that we can sleep, or are we sleeping so that we can daven? So the Rebbe writes that the perspective should be take a little bit of a nap after you're up a whole night, so that you're a little bit rested. So then when you daven like a mensch.
In defense of those people, someone like me, if I stay up, I'm wide awake davening. If I go to sleep and don't get a full night's sleep, oh my God, I can't keep straight. So for me, I'm much rather
defended. Defended. Anyway. But if somebody thinks,
he thought of me,
yeah, that's why I said you're defended. Because again, there's the unusual circumstance where a person, he feels that a little bit of sleep is not going to help him. If anything, it might even hurt him and fall asleep. So the first option is get a little bit more than a little bit. Don't just take a half an hour sleep. Take an hour and a half. Doesn't help.
Forget about it.
Okay. So again, there's the unusual circumstances that is we're talking about. Yeah. So then you spell tefillah, daven first, so that at least you get to daven. Some people are afraid they'll go down, lie down to sleep. Next thing it'll be 2:00 in the afternoon. What time do you say, Ma'ariv? 54. A person has to daven mitech simcha. He has to be joyful. Simcha shel mitzvah includes also learning a halacha psuka, a clear halacha that has no pilpulim involved in it. It's a halacha psuka. It's a clear halacha. It says about halachas that the mitzvahs of Hashem that are clear, they add joy to the heart. So too, learning psukim of Tanakh. So those things are things that could add in simcha. But it's better that but if you're going to sit down after you had a pilpul in halacha, an issue in halacha that you have to learn the pros and the cons and can come to a final conclusion, you're learning a pilpul, something like that. Or if you want to resolve a halacha and you have to go into the depth of it to be able to figure out what the halacha is, So in that case, it's better not to, because in a situation like that, you're going to be so involved in what it is that you're involved in that you're not going to be really able to keep your mind set on the words of davening like you need to. What if the tzibur is beginning to daven? Although it'd be better if he can get his mind cleared and take time, but nevertheless, it's not a reason to skip davening b'tzibur. A person should not begin davening b'teches leitzitzos, that he's in the middle of a bunch of jokers, in the middle of having a good time, and all of a sudden, okay, it's time to daven, we got to start. That's not a way to daven, which is kalus reish, dvarim b'teilim, meikas. When you're just talking about all kinds of things that are not associated with Torah or Yiras Shamayim or anger, you're in the middle of yelling at somebody. As we talked about earlier, it's with the humility that a person has to have in recognizing that he's davening to Hashem. And that's the way to prepare yourself properly for davening. Another thing is, Misha Sarach Linikov also Hispalol. If a person knows he needs to go to the bathroom, then you're not permitted to daven quickly so that, and then you'll go to the bathroom. You have enough time, you can rush to davening and then go. Because at that point you have a guf mishuka. Because if your body needs to go to the bathroom, you're not holy at that point. Actually, until you first go to the bathroom, you relieve yourself. Because it says that a person has to prepare himself properly with the proper holiness and then daven. And lechatchila, a person should actually check himself out to be sure to know that in the middle of davening he's not going to have to run to the bathroom. So that he can have the right kavanah in davening, and he won't have any disturbances in his middle of his davening, thinking to himself, I better daven quickly because otherwise I'm in trouble. Not just you need to go to the bathroom before davening and not start davening when you know it's coming, and also if you have to blow your nose, do that before davening, so that you're not davening and thinking that I'm going to get a tissue soon and I'm going to blow my nose. And so if you have to spit out something from your mouth, do that before davening. So these are all things. These are all things that can be a disturbance to your davening. You have to prepare yourself so that you can fully be immersed in your davening. If a person ended up going to the bathroom, before he begins davening, he should wash his hands. You don't have to make a bracha. And after he washes his hands, then again, in the preparation to become holy, then you prepare yourself for davening and begin your davening. You don't. Yes, you do.